Hey everyone, we are back with the live of Jeroen. So that's the moment where when you have a question, send it to me on the question mark tag and I'll try to ask them to Jeroen one at a time. I have some questions that people have sent me over the days on my kind of wish list. So as soon as Jeroen is with us, I will restart. Oh, here it is. It's already on. Let's go live. Jeroen Dubbeldam, I'm sorry. Yep.
Hi.
Hey, Jeroen. Hi, we're back. Let me see where we're. Okay. One of the things that they keep asking me is what is your preparation for the big shows? What is your idea to keep your horse fresh and ready and on top form for a big championship like this one?
Yeah, the idea is, I mean, I go to all the other shows also where other people go, but like I say, maybe some shows I use to work on some details, on some points that I'd like to have better. Which I have the feeling maybe I need those points that need to be improved. I need those points to make the difference in a very, very big competition. And rather than to ignore them on some shows, maybe to give you a result on a show maybe during the year, you ignore a few things, and that will give you at that moment maybe a result, because you are not really strict in how you want to do it. And I think there I'm very strict in that way, and that and then in very important moments I have those little details, little points. I have those ready, and they can then.
Your phrase. Hold on. Let's see if it comes back. We're back.
My son called me on FaceTime.
Oh, it's all right.
So yeah, in those moments, I have some details, little points that I've been focusing on many times on shows where others were maybe trying to win. I was focusing on those details, and then those small important details that work in that really, really big important class, and then that then makes the difference, and that can get you around at that moment that you want it. And yeah, that is how I see it. And you know, yeah, it's not such a big secret or very exciting explanation. It's actually very, very, very logic.
It's really wise though.
Yeah, but you just need to be strict with it. You know, if you do it half, then it's not working. If I work half on those shows, you know, I try to be half competitive and I work half a little bit on those points. Yeah, then it's not going to work. It's either yes or no, you know. And if you're really strict with that, and you have, of course, the right horse. I mean, if you don't have a horse to do a championship on, and that horse doesn't have the possibilities. I've also some horses in my stable that I know I'm never going to be win a medal on the championships. And with those horses, I also try to win some classes during the year. That's normal. But if I have that horse that I'm feeling this horse can do that, then I follow that road, and I'm very strict. And then nobody can interfere, or I listen to nobody anymore, because that is the road I follow. And many people can then try to change my mind. That does not work. Then I have a strong mind, and I'm then very strict.
Very well. Jeroen, there's a couple of quick questions about, of course, horses. One of them, if you could choose any horse in the world today, or just a horse that you really, really like to ride, which horse would it be?
Now today?
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, that's a good question. There's nowadays so many. Years ago, there was also always like one or two horses that were really out of the group, exceptional out of the group. But nowadays, there's so many fantastic horses winning so much. Would be very hard to pick one, but I always know that I knew that I was always so much in love with the way Balubé from Rodrigo was jumping. That horse showed so much power, and the way he made fences look like cavaletti. Although he was not a difficult horse to ride, I mean, Rodrigo did a really good job. It's simple to say, the horse was so good and make life so easy. It was a difficult horse to ride, very difficult horse to ride, but when you had him the way Rodrigo had him over many years, then fantastic. But at this moment, there's not really one horse now straight away that comes into my mind that I say, okay, that one is the one that there's many.
Absolutely, no problem.
Many.
On the other hand, if you could choose one of the horses you have ridden in your life to bring back to your saddle now, I would say with, 10 to 11 years old, so in top age, which horse that would be?
Well, I must never. I always start with the because the Shim is the horse that put me on the map, where I have my most important medal, because that is still the most important medal that I have. That gave that to me. So he was the most important horse in my career. The best horse in my career, the most talented horse in my career, was Simon. Unfortunately, I didn't have him so long, but that horse was amazing. So talented. That was fantastic. I only did one championship on him. It was the European Championship in Madrid in 2011, and we became 6th place individual, and I had a stick on the water, and that cost me a medal. That championship, but he at the final day, those 2 rounds, he was together with Hendrik van Eckem. We were the only double clears on the last day, but because of a water fault in the Nations Cup, we missed the medal. But he won. If I never seen now Aachen, the Nations Cup, he was double clear there. That horse was amazing, but also that the winner. I won the World Cup in Verona with him. Very quick jump off against the Shutterfly from Michaels. Yeah, this horse also win a class very quick, very fast. And also, I never forget anymore how he won Calgary. The way it almost felt like 2 fingers. It's unbelievable how so much talent. And then he was sold in short before the Olympics in London, 2012. He was sold in at the end of the year 2011 after the European Championships in Madrid, and that was still a little bit a hard moment in my career, because at that moment he was the best horse on the world rankings. He was number 1, and we were in great form. We were going to go to the Olympics in London 2012, and we never made it that far, unfortunately. But that was something I would have loved to go to with the horse at that moment of his career. He was his best moment of his career, and I would have loved to do that. But that was the most talented horse that I've ever ridden, I think.
Fantastic. What was your favorite show? What is your favorite show, actually?
My favorite show
Yeah.
is Aachen, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
And what was the hardest course you ever jumped?
The hardest course I have ever jumped was Sydney Olympics. The final day. It was I walked that course in the morning. It was early, and I walked the course, and I was late in the class because I won the qualifiers. So the best ones to do the qualifiers went at the end, and I walked the course, and I thought that class was so big, so difficult, and then I remember after my crosswalk, I went back to the stable and I didn't watch anybody go because I had the feeling if I'm going to see too many people go in this course, then I get confused. There was a very hard line at the end, triple bar, and then I cannot remember 6 or 7 strides to double vertical with water under, and then one more roxer in a straight line behind. And it was a given 6 strides or something, but that stride was too nice, and I had the feeling that 6 strides he was going to be too flat into it, so that he would not jump up enough into the air. So my feeling told me that I had to one stride that line, but I am sure if I would have seen people go and people ride the class before me, because everybody was going to do 6 strides, then I would have not dared to make the choice to do an extra stride. So I then went back to the stable. I watched nobody, and I didn't want to hear nothing. And I just really wanted to write my own plan, of course, and because I remember that course really impressed me. The second round, that triple combination, vertical oxer, one stride. That was a killer. That final day in Sydney, for me, one of the toughest. I think the toughest scores that I've jumped.
Very good, fantastic answer. Well, we've been going through a lot of changes in the sport lately. You already said that you miss the rotation on the World Question Games, which is okay. But we also are going to go through two different or new things for the next year. One of them is the new Olympic system, and I want to know what you think about it.
Yeah, it's very hard to say. You know, I have already had different opinions about it. And first of all, I said bad. You know, 3 riders, bad for maybe welfare of the horse. If you're only with 3 riders and one is maybe not in a great shape, and there's many. You can have so many discussions about it. I think, like I said, I have had positive opinions about it. I've had negative opinions about it myself, and now I am in a point that I think, you know, let's see how it goes. Because I must say, watching the global champion league there with the 3 or 2 riders then, and in the final in Prague with 3 riders, everything counts. It's pretty dramatic sometimes because you see riders get eliminated and then the whole team is out, and you see all kinds of things, which is pretty dramatic, but also makes it maybe exciting. I don't know. It's for me very hard to say whether it's going to be very exciting, going to be not such a good decision. What I do regret, what I do think it's a pity that we start with the individual competition, then with the team competition. I think that is a pity because now team competition was somehow part of your individual competition because it was a qualifier to bring you into the final for your individual competition, and so everybody is still in full shape, in top shape, still in the team competition, and now straight away to start with the individual competition. I think some really good pairs, top pairs, maybe we won't see them anymore in the team competition. Maybe the reserve guy maybe comes into the team for the team competition. Maybe one individual rider maybe who wins the medal and maybe has Calgary 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after where there's a lot of money to win, and maybe they say, okay, no, this is how our world has become a little bit, and I'm a little bit afraid those are going to. We have seen that even already in Cannes on the World Championship, that some riders who were in the final, but maybe not really high in the final, cancelled to ride and made the choice to go to Calgary, and nothing against Calgary. I love Calgary. I would love to go every year to Calgary, but pity that people that once they're in the final for a championship that they cancel to go to another big show. And I'm a little bit afraid it's going to happen also on the Olympics team cup.
Well, that's the point that I got. It's like wait and see now because there's nothing that we can do to change it.
No.
So, well, another big rule that's about to change, and I just received a memo saying that they're still keeping the dates for 2021. That's the hind boots.
Mm-hmm.
If the memo they received is correct, for the next Olympics, the hind boots will already be forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were discussing if they will wait until the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
But they send a message now to my email saying that no, that FEI has approved the hind boots will end by the end of 2020. What do you think about the new hind boots regulation?
It's a new rule, and we have to accept it. The rule came, we have to accept. Every rule there is, we have to accept. Very simple. As long as it's the same for everybody, I mean, then everybody has the same chance again. So I don't see there a big problem. Everybody has to find a horse and produce a horse that don't need long
Don't need the hind boots, yeah.
And what can you say? The rule is there, and we have to accept it and make the best out of it. And for sure we will. And like I say, it's for everybody the same. So it's still a fair game, and the best one will win.
Very good. Jeroen, what is the importance of the flat work and the dressage for the show jump horses?
I think it's very important. I think like we had now the discussion of the back boots. And I think when the back boots go up, even more the flat work and that schooling part, it will become even more important if you have your horse through the body, listening in between hand and leg, kind of stuff. The more that works, the less you need. So, but anyway, it's very important. But I think in the future we will see a bigger gap between the riders that have a real good basics with their horses and riders who make a lot of compromise with their horses, because when those hind boots are not there anymore, I think the ones top basic in will be more successful than the other ones. And and basically, I mean, the flat work and the basic stuff. For me, it's lesson number one.
All right. What is the most important quality you look on a horse when you're looking for a horse for you?
That is something very personal, of course. I mean, sometimes you see a horse. Okay, everybody likes to see a horse jump with a fantastic front technique, a super hind end technique, with a lot of body use, a lot of scope, very down. This is the perfect horse, but that horse does not exist. So then, you have to look for a horse that comes close to that. But also those horses are very rare. And then you have to look for horses that, suit you and have a few of those points and suit you and that draw your attention also when you see them. Then the mentality of the horse, the whole package then have to come together. It has to suit your way of riding. It has, of course, need scope and carefulness, but a horse can have less scope and is fantastic careful, and then you can use the to make another advantage. The package has to be. But then in the end, what I think when the package is good, in the end, what can really make difference is the mentality of the horse. Because in the end, believe me, in those classes, those big fixes can have everything fantastic, organized and well prepared and basics in and all these things. But then if the mentality of the horse is then not a winning mentality, you can never win. I mean, that is going to be in the end always the point that makes the difference.
Very well. Adir Abreu, that's a Brazilian rider, asked what you think about the cancellation of the 2021 European Championships.
I think it's a little bit of pity. I heard yesterday. I find it a little bit early to cancel already because I'm not so sure that the Olympics will be next 2021. Then it's a great, the possibility there that we will have no championships at all next year and this year, of course. So then there's 2 years with no championships. That would be very sad. So yeah, for me, I think it's early to already cancel it. In my opinion, but I have, of course, not so much information to see how long can they wait with canceling and all these things, So, but as a sportsman, point of view, I say it's a pity because it's, in my opinion, too early. And even if the Olympics will be held next year, I think we can have two championships nowadays, or all the so many good riders and so many horses. Almost every country can make more teams, and it would give also some chances to a few other riders in the country who maybe are really close to the Olympic team, but can maybe go to the European Championships. And yeah, I think it's a real pity.
All right. There's a guy from Brazil asking, what do you think? Well, you said you got Zenit when he was 7 years old, right?
7, yes.
Yes. Do you ride a lot of young horses?
Not anymore as I used to do in when I 20 years ago. But I do still ride young horses in between. Yeah, that's that's my passion. That is what I love to do. Working with horses at home, trying to horses. I always try to produce my own horses from 6-7 year olds towards the highest levels. So that is what I love doing. And I keep doing also, even if I would stop maybe riding on big shows, or maybe even if I would stop riding as a show jumping rider, I will still keep riding at home and riding young horses and trying to develop them and bring them up, and that I will keep doing, sure, because that's where my passion.
What's the key on developing a young horse?
It's also that you need to like to do, because it's difficult, and it takes a lot of time, and you need to have a lot of patience, and it's a long road, but that's why it's necessary to be very passionate about it to do that. Otherwise, it's not the thing for you to do if that's not the case. Patience, passion. You must love to do it. I love to do it.
Fantastic. I will translate this one for you. Luciana Rivas is a rider here in Brazil, and she's asking, how many times do you work your top horses a day on the show? And if they go like twice a day out of the box, if they go to the paddocks, what is the routine of your top horses?
Yeah, in my top horses that I'm trying to produce, like towards a big championships or so, that in the year before already that starts. It's a whole procedure. It's not that a few weeks before the championships you start to prepare yourself for the championships. It's already the year before where you do that, and so they need to be fit, strong, and muscle, and it need to be a machine 1 year later, and you build that 1 year before, and they are top athletes, and they don't. It's not that they are worked for 1 hour a day and 23 hours the rest of the day they stand in the box, because that does not make it an athlete. So they are. I work them once a day, like proper myself, and then they come the walker, on the field, on the track. They go maybe 3 or 4 times a week. For a second time on the day, they will be even worked on the launch. So yeah, they worked a lot, and then when the big championship closer, I go down to work. Then the work go when it come really close. The the really tough work less, because then you build it already. Basics are in, the basic condition and muscles and everything is already there, and then you can slow down a little bit to have enough energy left to do those big, be ready for the big championship.
Oh, fantastic. Do you have a breeding program at the moment?
Sorry, what?
A breeding program.
Breeding?
Yeah.
Well, not in a professional way, but we have some breeding mares. I have them with Team Nijhoff, and I have some mares that we were riding in the sport, and they're based by Team Nijhoff, and we share that actually. And so I'm a hobby breeder. Actually, just yesterday, one of the mares from my daughter, from Nina, the mare that she used to ride, had a fall. So we have a breeding program, but it's like hobby wise, and I don't have it at home, because at home we only really have the dealing and the sport, and the breeding is on a different stable.
Very good. Do you teach?
I do teach, yes. This is something that in the beginning of my career I would never thought that I would teach people and help people, and because it was not really my thing. But I must say, after the European Championships in Aachen, end of 2015. The Mrs. Porter, Suzanne Porter, from the mother of Lucas and Wilton Porter,
Okay.
the boys that I train nowadays. called me actually to Weber, the four-in-hand driver. They were in contact with them, and he called me actually to train. And that made me think. I thought, okay, listen, we all come at some point to a point in your career where you also think further than only riding and sport and shows, every week. And so there's also comes a life after that, and you must not stay blind only for sport, of course. And I think, and made me think, and said, yeah, why maybe I should have contact with them. And I went over there to their stable and to see the horses, and I came in contact with them. I somehow became a real feeling about the whole family and about Lucas, how passionate they are and they are. And then we started this thing with the training, and actually I had already one guy in my stable, which is called Alonso Valdez Prado from Peru. He was already in 2014 here with one horse to prepare himself for the World Championships, and that was already actually that was the start of like
your teaching career.
Training career with Alonso, and then but that was not much. It was he had one or two horses, so it was very okay to do besides my own riding, and he's a fantastic guy, and I love to work with him together. And we are not now only rider and trainer; we are really true friends, and that is the same case. Lucas and Wilton now also more than only rider and trainer, and it became a big friendship and even partnership in some ways also. And I really enjoy doing it. I will, if I really had to put my whole sport career away to do it, then I would not do it. But the way we do it now, it's a fantastic combination. I can still do my top sports and train and help Lucas and Wilton and Alonso, and then there's a few others that I help but not so intensive. One of them is Daniel Coyle, very talented show jumping rider from Ireland, and I love doing it, and I enjoy it.
We'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
Jeroen, thank you very much. We're about to go to the last question. So I'd like to thank you for your time. It was a fantastic opportunity. And the question is, what is your advice for these young riders or these amateur riders that want to improve, or for the young riders that want to become the new Jeroen Dubbeldam in the future? What's the advice for them?
Well, I say, the way I did it, I went away from home, out of your comfort zone, go and see, make the step into the world, go and work and see by others and work hard, become not somebody who is able to ride a horse, but become a horseman. And I think that is the key. The key word. Of course, you see also riders in your career passing by that are just somebody that rides a horse. But I think to become a fantastic show jumping rider or whatever in our horse world, you need to become or be horseman, and you need to understand horseman. And I think that is the key word.
All right, thank you very much. There's two other questions. I will put one of them, and let's tell just a second. Bella Vega, your question is short. I can't read the end of it, so just send me the finish of the question so I can know what it is about. But also, Francisco Musa, that's another Brazilian writer, is asking what do you look for in the future? What are the horses you have, and what is your bet for the next Olympics, if you're going to, or?
Well, at this moment is Lucas and Wilton Porter we are so good a team already, and Alonso Valdez. It works so good, almost automatically already, that I can already now even focus more again on my sport. And I have at this moment a fantastic horse, which is called Oak Grove's Carlisle. And I have this horse since October of last year. And my goal was actually to go to the Olympic Games this year with him, because I really have the feeling that he's a fantastic horse, and also a championship horse. And so now the Olympics are here, hopefully. So my goal is to be on the team with Oak Grove's Carlisle, and to go to the Olympics, and together with Rob Behrens to pick one more medal.
Fantastic. Jeroen, thank you very, very much for your time. It was a pleasure. Well, I hope to see you soon.
It was a pleasure for me too. Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time. It was a fantastic opportunity. And I hope to see you soon. Hope this whole coronavirus situation ends soon, so we can be at the shows together once again.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, thank you everyone that watched it. It was fantastic. I will go back to Portuguese now to say the last few words for the Brazilian that's watching us. Bom, pessoal, obrigado a todo mundo que assistiu. Eu achei incrível. Lembrando todo mundo que amanhã vai ter uma pergunta na Lucky You, um quiz dessa live. Agradecimento à Lucky You, ao canal do Hipismo e ao Mundo Hípico. Segunda-feira, 8 horas da noite, tem uma entrevista com o Dólar Miranda. Na quarta-feira, com a Karine Rampeter. Sexta-feira eu vou confirmar até amanhã, mas sábado está confirmado, 2h30 da tarde, com o Gregori Batelet. Acho que vão ser boas entrevistas. Obrigado a todo mundo que assistiu. Muito obrigado a Samantha Sutherland, que está fazendo todo esse processo de tradução para a gente. É maravilhoso. E ela está pedindo, na verdade, quando vocês repararem que ela parou de falar, que ela sumiu. Oh, sorry, Bruce. I'm back in Portuguese for the Brazilian friends that are watching. Thank you very much, everyone that watched it in English. Please feel free to send comments to appoint other interviews that you would like me to do. It's been a pleasure for me. But most of my followers are still Brazilian, so I'm back in full Portuguese, okay? Bom, é isso, pessoal. Obrigado a todo mundo. Então, de novo, relembrando, segunda-feira, Dona Miranda. E mais tarde ou amanhã vai ter o quiz da Lucky You para o final de semana. O que falta falar para vocês? Acho que nada, acho que é isso. Muito obrigado a todo mundo que participou. Lembra que meu inbox está sempre aberto para críticas, para sugestões de nomes. Eu não garanto que eu vou conseguir, mas eu posso tentar. No, Rose, I don't know. Well, I know who he is, but I don't know him. If you do and you have any contact with him, I would love to have an interview with him. If you don't know him, I will try, but I can't promise anyway, okay? Well, bye everyone, and I see you guys on Monday.